Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monkey Flip Podcast, starring four people who know not to pick with the biggest, baddest dude at ringside when we're out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the video. And do we know whose page this comes from? So we can give them some.
I do not, but I'll once we're done talking about it, I will.
Yeah, we'll figure it. We'll figure it out. We'll give credit.
This video is titled "Chaos Breaks Out After Fan Attacks Pro Wrestler at Indie Event."
Awesome. Do we know what? Do we know what event it is?
No.
No event. No.
Again, I'll check it.
I just said on Twitter earlier, and I just glanced over. I just seen the video, and I was like, okay.
If you're interested, you do the work. I mean, let's go.
Okay.
That's a big dude.
Yeah.
Big dude.
That's a big dude.
He's a bigger dude.
Yep.
That's a big
Right in the mush.
Yeah.
Right in his nose. That dude knows how to fight too. He was just stupid.
What, the black dude?
No, the white dude. He went to double leg his ass.
Yeah.
And he forgot there was a rail there. What's these other guys coming in to fight him for? He didn't cross the barrier. He didn't do anything wrong.
And I wish you had the
for
sound.
hats.
Now, why's that dude keep taking people's hats?
And I wish you had the sound of this, so you could hear the fans telling him.
He said
to
that
throw him
motherfucker
out.
did something to me. I don't
He
know
did.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that motherfucker flipped my hat off my head, or he touched me first, or some shit like that.
Look at the poor security guard. He knows that he's at the whim of this dude. He needs to talk him back.
Yeah.
Talk him back.
And
there.
he's trying. He's trying.
Yeah.
Trying.
Why would that dude?
Have a man bun?
Why would the wrestler pick the biggest dude in the front row to physically accost? Because don't get me wrong, the wrestler was in the wrong here. He did physically touch the fan. And all he has to do, he's doing is protecting himself.
Everybody said he was trying to get cheap heat.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he flipped his hat off his
You
head.
can do that without touching a dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do that. If you can't do it without touching a dude, don't do it.
Right.
You should be behind that barrier talking shit, make him want to cross the barrier. He crosses the barrier.
Then you whoop his ass.
Different thing altogether. Then the entire locker room emptying on his ass is justified. But when he stepped over and touched that guy, like you said, he knocked his hat off.
Yeah.
He touched him. You knocked somebody's hat off.
You should never touch another man's hat.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't touch him at all. I mean, clothing or whatever.
IWE Pro Wrestling.
IW Pro Wrestling Show on Saturday night.
Augusta, Georgia.
Obviously, the fan didn't get the message you should leave pro wrestling to the pro wrestlers. Well, I don't agree.
I don't agree either.
If you're sitting behind the barrier minding your business, even if you're yelling and screaming, even if you're jaw jacking back and forth, the second that you cross that line, that's a problem.
See, in this article, they don't even mention the hat incident.
No.
Yeah.
Well, all it says is acting out his role as a heel to a masterful event. Well,
That
what
is
I
not
saw
true.
is not a masterful
No,
event.
that is not true.
I was a heel
At a
about
masterful
90% of my fucking career, and I've never had to put my hands on anybody to get heat.
I got in trouble.
But it said, he always says is he provoked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble one time. And it's because some dumbass promoter, and you're probably listening and you hear, and you'll agree when you hear this, some dumbass promoter's wife told a group of fans that it was perfectly okay to chase wrestlers down the aisleway.
Yeah.
And when they're jaw jacking at me, and that's cool. But when I turn around and there's people coming after me, like they're going to hit me, I reached out and grabbed a kid by the throat, and his brother intervened. But I was ready I was going to talk to him before I did anything to him because I knew the kid, and I was going to talk to him. I was like, no, that's not cool. But if he would have looked at me in a malicious way or tried to kick me, I was going to take him out.
Was that in the theater?
That was in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I learned after that the promoter's dumbass wife said it's perfectly okay for you to chase everybody because they asked, can we chase them down the aisle? Just she didn't know or whatever, but she should have known.
I think that was one of the nights that it was the fans bring the night.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't?
It was not. It was
Because I
a normal
swore
night.
that kid had a kendo stick.
No, he did have a Kindle stick, but there wasn't a fans bring weapon night.
He shouldn't have had that there either.
Yeah, because you weren't there. I was coming back after wrestling a singles match against someone. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't.
At the Kiss concert.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah. So he wasn't there, and the only fans bring the weapons night that I was involved in was him and Eden.
And yeah.
So maybe there was one later that night, and that's what they had. But still, it doesn't matter. You know.
Oh,
you
I'm
cross
not
that line.
agreeing with it
Right.
at all.
Right. You cross that line, you get what you get. But I didn't hurt the kid. I had him by the throat. He was controlled, but I wasn't hurting him.
If
And
I
the
rem-
look in his eye when I grabbed him by the throat was like, oh.
If I remember correctly, I yelled, "Don't do that."
Yeah, but it's just I got in trouble for that, and rightfully so, because if I had the control to grab the kid and not hurt him, then maybe I shouldn't have. But
I guess
mean,
I had kind of a story like that, but it was my wife caused it.
yeah.
Remember, them Canadian dudes got into it, and I ended up having to tussle with both of them. She spit on them or something.
Oh,
yeah,
Jennifer.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I had them back in the locker room because I had to defend my wife, even
Yeah.
though I didn't like her.
right.
Yeah, but you have to.
Yeah.
Bushwhackers were there that night. That's the night they did my nuts.
They groped my nuts too. It was like, hey, there's something on my
Put his arm
elbow.
down, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking asshole. He also groped the entire front row.
See, you can't do that either.
Yeah.
Acted like he had powder in his eye. And he was just
He's just running to
"What
everybody in the
is
front row
going
grabbing
on?
That's
titties.
hilarious.
Where's
Yeah, he totally did that.
Even though we know it's the Marquettes.
Yeah, he totally
If you're
did.
watching, sorry.
100%. Or not sorry. Maybe that was the it's like him grabbing my nuts is something I saw everybody.
No, I mean, sorry for being ugly.
Oh, okay.
The Marquettes. Again, I'm sorry.
See, like the bushwhacker grabbing my nuts, that's one story. George Animal Steel, one of the greatest dudes I
That's
ever
awesome.
met, trying to sell me Amway. That was good. Yeah, good stuff. And the whole Raven thing. Raven was phenomenal.
And that didn't end. That
Great
went on
dude.
for a long time.
Yeah, that was a great dude. He's still a great dude, I imagine. But he was really fun to be around.
It was.
I feel like I got saved from a lot of stuff because I was standing behind a camera.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people just didn't fuck with me because I had a camera in front of me the whole time.
Maybe.
This one's cool. I'm glad you guys told me about this. It's another point where things aren't always what they seem.
Right.
And I disagree with the person who put this on. They're saying that he did a masterful job. That's not a masterful job. Anybody can provoke someone into a fight if you physically push them or touch them.
And I agree with you. You touch his hat, you're touching him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you got that heat up where you're like, yeah, fuck you, and you're like, oh no, fuck you, and then you pop a dude in the hat. It's time to go.
It's on.
We're throwing hands. That's the way it goes. Or in this case, a huge fucking forehead right to the middle of your nose.
I do want to give
Why
credit.
that guy? There were so many littler guys.
So, yeah, like everybody there was littler.
Yeah. Look, the security guard. It was teeny.
Hold on. It ain't prison.
Yeah. You don't go up to the biggest, baddest motherfucker in the yard and make him go down. That's not the way that goes.
We should give credit to the YouTube channel of All Elite Mike.
All Elite Mike. That's what we were watching.
Awesome job.
Yeah, it's a good video. I disagree with your I politely and respectfully disagree with your view of what that is. As someone who's been in the business, don't touch anyone.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Jaw jack, wait for him to come across, invite him across. Come on across the barrier. And when they come across the barrier, kick shit out of them because now you're not in the wrong.
They know the rules.
They know that barrier is there for a reason. That's why on a lot of the tickets it say if you cross the barrier, we're not responsible. We're not responsible for what happens to you.
A lot of the indie shows that I was working there towards the end, they would say it at the beginning of the show, like, don't touch the wrestlers. The wrestlers aren't going to touch you.
Yeah.
This and that and the other. And then
if you try to get in the ring, I am going to cheap shot your ass. You're not standing up. If you come into the ring, I'm beating your ass while you're still down. You're not getting into the ring.
that's like I was working the show up in Knox, Indiana, and I was the outside. I was the manager with the two kids in the group, and so they're outside jaw jacking, and they start walking up to the ring. Of course, an outside show, no barriers.
Right.
So they get me to you to the apron. I hop out in between them.
Yeah.
Your best bet is to turn around and walk back to your little curb over there.
Yeah.
Where you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Dude wanted to check me in the chest.
Throw it.
Done.
Throw
Done.
it. Yep.
And then after that's all said and done, I wrestled later in the show. I have the police waiting for me at the locker room door when I get done wrestling. You Hank Calhoun? Yes. We've had some threats on your life, so we're going to need you to grab your shit and we're going to escort you out of town. Okay. We get to the edge of town. All right. Don't ever come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Come to find out the kid was 17.
Yeah.
But his dad had seen the video.
Yeah.
Because, of course, his mom sent the video.
Yeah.
And he said he touched him first.
Yeah.
He was defending himself.
Right.
Shouldn't have touched him.
Yep.
And then nothing ever came out of it. Thank God. But I didn't know he was 17, man. Don't put your hands on me.
Doesn't matter if he's 17.
I've said that before.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Shoot.
Don't put your hands on it.
Don't put your hands on me.
Nice.
All right, you said you wanted to transition to WWE.
Transition?
Yeah, let's
I
go.
have a little thing, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. RK Bro.
RK Bro with a dash.
Love him.
Dash Bro.
Yeah.
I do.
I love him. So do I. Every time they're in a match and they're standing there celebrating at the end because they won, tell me you do not look at Randy Orton and go, is he going to RKO him?
Oh,
Every time.
I don't, because I think that they have. I think sooner or later, yeah, it probably will happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
I think it's going to be Riddle that
That would be
hits him
awesome
with the
too.
RKO.
But the way, what I'm saying is, it always stands a tad bit behind him.
Yeah.
It's always just kind of looking at him in the face. And he's always doing, he's always, you see it all the time with him.
Left to the right.
And we know how Randy Orton was.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Bill?
I think every time I see it, you're right. I'm looking at him as like, is this what's going to happen? And I think that Sheila touched on something that would be much better. Riddle, RKO's
absolutely.
Randy
Absolutely.
Orton. Was that
Yeah.
you?
That was Jimmy.
It was Hank. If Riddle RKO's Randy Orton, because it's a better story, because you can break into that bond. You can even keep them together still. You can break into that bond of, like he's on the ground, oh my God.
Right.
All right, you got me on that one. And then they just keep trading after the show of getting each other with it. You can keep that going. I like that. I still like the chemistry.
Yeah, I do too.
They were
They look
good.
like they're having so much fun together.
And I love that you can genuinely look at Orton and tell he's having a fucking blast.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, think about when you used to have RK Bro or just Riddle all by himself. The shtick gets a little much.
Yeah.
But now you've mixed in Randy Orton and it slows it down. Like Riddle will just grab the mic once and say something stupid. And he says the stupid thing that's funny that everybody's, oh, that Riddle.
Yeah.
You know? But when he does it 20 times, you're like, okay.
Okay, we heard it.
Like when he's got on a scooter and he's driving around people acting like the little dog off of the cartoons. You're just like, okay, bro, that's enough. And when Randy Orton came in and started going, hey, and he shut up. It made it better. So they work really well together. I
think they're
that.
real friends. Like, I think they are real friends. I think probably Randy has worked with Riddle to train him, and they've actually become friends.
That means when they get into a match, it's going to be intense.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everything in wrestling that's inevitable, but that's something to actually look forward to. And every day it doesn't happen, it makes it better.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say it, but the Dominic and Rey Mysterio thing.
Yep.
Every time it doesn't happen, it makes it a little bit better. Although I haven't seen Dominic
They've been gone for a minute.
on for a while. Yeah.
Well, last I saw Dom, he worked a match on NXT.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
I feel like he should have started there just a little bit earlier.
That's it.
I'm not saying that he is terrible, but I think that he needed
He needs
more
some
training.
seasoning.
I think his work is okay. It's just the transition. A lot of people say that wrestling isn't what you do, isn't the moves, it's what you do between the moves. And I think that's where he's lacking a little bit.
It's his biggest thing, I think, too, is the transition from spot to spot.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, he can work, and I just don't think he should be getting wins and being a high profile until he learns that part of it, which, I mean, he's going to learn it.
Yeah.
He's probably been backstage longer than many of the guys
Yeah.
that are wrestling now.
Yep. Well, that's good. Well, I mean, WrestleMania Backlash was on since we had to take an extra week due to an illness, and
It wasn't me this time.
it wasn't anybody, but it was the producer this time. She had an illness that was it wasn't like COVID or nothing like that. Now that I said that word, the video will get flagged.
No.
It's like, here's the information about COVID-19. They're spreading misinformation about COVID. I just said the word COVID-19. I've said it 4 times. It's definitely flagged. I'll flag it myself.
Sheila, is there any way you can pull up the
Card.
Oh, from Backlash.
for Backlash? I can't even remember what all was on
Well,
it.
I mean, there's a reason.
I mean, after the first match, I was pretty much done anyway.
Yeah, to me, it seemed like it seemed like a backwards indie show or a house show. There wasn't really much high profile stuff on there. And what they did it
It's
backwards.
funny, but look what you typed in.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
That's
WrestleMania. A put to pain. First thing that came to mind.
WrestleMania Backlash. Oh, we're on Wikipedia. They're not seeing this, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Storylines, preliminary matches. So the first one is...
Well, we already know it was Cody and Seth.
Yeah. The first one is the main event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which is a very good match. So
yeah, that match, I thought that was the main.
Yeah, and even if it wasn't, it was.
It was.
Yeah. There are things that Seth Rollins does that I don't like, but like when you do a superplex and then you roll over and you do a suplex. It's like, you know that thing where you shoot a guy and then hang him? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stupid. So that one, I think we all agree was the main event.
Yeah.
And it lived up to the hype. Then Bobby Lashley faced Omos, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think I watched anything else. I only think I watched Styles and Edge. I was fully aware of a screw finish, and I was like, this is going to end in a screw finish.
Yeah. I figured that. I was torn whether it was going to be Ciampa or Rhea.
Yeah. Well, there it was. Rhea, it was a screw finish.
Edge applied a crossface on Styles, who passed out, thus winning the match.
Right, but something happened.
After Rhea pushed him off the top.
Oh.
Yeah, something happened. It's a screw finish.
Also, the second that you saw the person's pants, if you didn't know that was Rhea Ripley, that's your own fault.
Right.
Can we take a moment to talk about gauged ears?
Oh.
They're gross.
I can't say anything because my wife has them.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, they're not like...
They're not
the big holes.
Jeff Hardy.
They're like...
Yeah, but she's also not wrestling and getting them knocked out every match, so we can see the leftover damp bagel that the ear turns into at the end of that. I mean, come on. You got to have surgery to get that back, don't you? If you wanted to have a regular earlobe.
You would have to get them sewn back up, yes.
Like, wow, I pierced my ear in 8th grade, and there's still a hole there. I can still put stuff through it, so I imagine the gauges are still there.
The cartilage ones are the only ones that I know on me that heal, and I just have to poke an earring through it to get
So
it.
Jeff Hardy,
No.
I get a part in his match where I get ill, and that's after he takes a couple bumps and they flop out. They even did a spot one time where Sami Zayn handcuffed his ear to the ladder.
Oh God!
Yeah, that was disgusting. The whole time Bill's going, what?
And Rhea Ripley actually survived a match with only one coming out, and then at the stuff that was going on at the end of the match, the other one came out. I'm like, come on. So Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey,
I watched a little bit of that match.
Yeah, match was, I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah.
It was what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I love this. Whoever put this together on the Wikipedia. It was soon after revealed that Flair had, kayfabe, broken her radial bone in her forearm and would be out of action indefinitely. Indefinitely means whatever she's doing to get married or whatever. And then in the penultimate match, somebody's got some grammar chops with penultimate. Happy Corbin faces Madcap Moss. This is why I'm saying the whole thing's backward.
Yeah.
How can you have Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss after an I Quit match?
Right.
Yeah.
Women or not, after an I Quit match. How do you do that? That's just after AJ Styles and Edge, for fuck's sake. Come on.
I know.
Main event, Drew McIntyre and RK Bro, which half of that's a main event. And the Bloodline. Well, there's one person that doesn't belong there. Drew McIntyre does not belong in the main event. He does not. He's a big dude. He works really well, but he just seems like he's inserted.
Nobody cares.
He's like that utility friend, we were talking about earlier. Yeah. It's the kid like, if you got nobody else, like, I really want to play wiffle ball. Hey, you want to come over? But it's like, I want to play wiffle ball, and there are 15 people here to play wiffle balls. Hey, could you stay home? That's that guy. Maybe they just don't have another guy, but
I think they're trying to get it to where he's going to face Roman Reigns for the title belts, and
they're definitely doing
it. September. They're doing it in September.
Yeah, it's definitely happening.
Oh, I didn't realize
when they go over and do the England show. Or the Wales show.
So WWE just totally went, hey, Roman Reigns is going to be the champion until at least September because this match is already booked. Well, that's just dumb.
Well, shit, they already took him off of a pay-per-view.
I made that
He's
comment
not on Hell. He's not on Hell in a Cell.
They already set up his match. We knew he was gonna. We watched it.
I guess his new contract he signed is like a lot like Brock's, where he gets that time off.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So
of course,
more people that show up right before WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you have a lot of wrestlers. They don't all have to come out every single show.
Right.
So just space them out a little bit and give us some entertainment instead of pushing all of the people in front of our face that we're so sick of seeing.
Right.
How about stop starting your 3-hour show with 30 minutes worth of talk and ending it with 15 minutes? The main event is not a wrestling match.
Not usually.
Not anymore.
The main event is somebody coming out to talk. I mean, and they're going to get in a fight. It's just so predictable. They're never going to come out and just have an interview. Right. Interviews don't happen anymore. They're just vehicles for people to fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, shit, they proved that on Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah, we accept, and then boom, there's a fight.
Yeah, see, I didn't get to see that part because I turned over to watch Golden State.
This week, but then
yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You're just going to have to wait a week. Well, we already know it's going to be some kind of interference.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't want to do that. They don't want to do the unification.
Or maybe Riddle will RKO.
Maybe. Riddle does the RKO. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Probably not.
And I do like the fact that he does all of Orton's moves. That is so cool. he does.
But takes him to a little bit more of a level. You know?
Right.
It's like he does it off the top.
Yeah.
He even sold it going off the top and didn't hit it.
Right.
And you're like, oh, cool. It's like, hey, he's going to do that RKO. Oh, he didn't do it. That's great.
Even the turns around and smacks the ground. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool.
He reminds me of a Von Erich.
Really? Yeah. Well,
his work, not just because feet.
Well, Kevin always wrestled barefoot. So
didn't they all accept? Didn't they all accept Kerry?
No. It was just Kevin. Only wrestled. His sons now wrestle with bare feet.
Do they?
Yeah.
I could never think about doing something like that.
Bare feet.
Yeah. I hit my feet on shit too much.
As much as you broke your fingers, I'm glad that you, just from people stepping on them while you were down, I'm glad that you didn't wrestle barefoot.
I'd have beat the fuck out of them feet. Oh, absolutely. And I didn't wear wrestling boots until halfway through my career. I wore boots.
Yeah.
Boots.
Your feet would be fucked.
He had Timberlands on every time we're in the ring.
I remember what most of you guys wore in the ring.
Yeah. Well, this kind of slowed down a little bit, but it makes sense because we're talking about a match or a show that's slowed down. Why is it called WrestleMania Backlash now? Why not just called Backlash? Now it's WrestleMania Backlash. Is there something on there that happened at WrestleMania that's continuing stuff? Because it doesn't seem
The
that
Charlotte
way.
Ronda was.
Did that happen at WrestleMania?
Cody and Seth.
Yeah.
Cody and Seth. Yeah. That's true. That was the main event.
Yeah.
Happened.
Yeah, the Charlotte Ronda stuff started at WrestleMania because Charlotte kind of cheated.
Yeah.
Because she did tap, but the ref wasn't paying attention. Or the ref was out.
Kind of a dusty finish.
Yeah.
Well, anybody have anything else to say? I mean,
I really don't. Next week we can talk about how wonderful the 8-man tag is.
What 8-man tag?
Any of them.
Just in general. Because they're on every week
match,
at least.
That kind of match.
Yeah.
Especially if you ever watch Elevation Dark.
Let's talk about that next week.
See, that's the
ain't
thing.
nothing but.
That's the thing that I'm saying,
mans.
though, with AEW is the same thing that I'm saying with WWE. Spread your fucking stars out. Don't make them wrestle every week. Give them a chance to heal in between shows and actually put some other people in front of the camera. Because I've got to be honest, I miss Ruby Soho, and she just keeps not being on television.
She's on Dark.
She's on the internet portion of it.
I know.
She comes in for interviews.
She's like 17. What did they say? 17 win streak or some shit like that.
But not
Dark.
on the real show.
No. On Elevation.
That's my problem is they're pushing all of these people. They shove their rings full of human beings to make sure that everybody gets TV time, and they don't need that.
Well, I mean, you're saying on one hand they shove everybody in there to give them TV time, and then you're complaining about somebody not getting TV time.
But what I'm saying is they don't have to shove everybody onto the. Some of those 8-man tag matches last like a half of a show.
Oh, let me put on my Booker face. Let me put on my Booker, not Booker T. Let me put on my Booker face. Let me grab that pencil for a minute. All you in the know what that means. Even if you think you know what it means, you probably don't. We'll grab the pencil for a minute. How about this? How about not every match be an even contest?
True.
That goes 14 minutes.
Yep.
Then you've got plenty enough room on your 2-hour show to showcase everyone that you need and also have a way to build talent. Because none of these, WWE is the same as AEW. It's not happening. They're focusing on every segment of the match has to be worthy when you don't know what worthy is. Like, it's hard to say about WWE. There's a lot of bullshit there that they've gone through to where you would think that they're the ones that are doing it. And AEW is probably following that example. However, when you've got every match is a 3-segment match, you've got too much time on your hands or not enough people. And if you have the point where you had a 3-minute match, a 5-minute match, something that went a little bit wild, get a couple back and forths and that's it, it'd be a much better thing because you don't have to worry about coming up with things for people to say. So you don't have to have someone coming out and talking for 30 fucking minutes and then talking for 15 at the end. You can just have matches and spend that time showing superstars, letting them learn what's going on, letting them learn how to work the crowd. Because believe it or not, if you don't have 14 minutes and you've got 6, you'll learn how to work the crowd in 6 minutes, which will help you with 14.
Yep.
You gotta know how to get those people interested. I mean, I'm gonna go one more. One more. AW are now doing a pay-per-view that's called the Forbidden Door, which is it's AW versus New Japan.
Right.
And the wrestling. And what you've done is you've taken your product and made it esoteric. If somebody isn't a New Japan fan, now watching your guys wrestle someone they don't know and making it an even match, because that's the point of all those, that they're all going to be even, for hard-fought 14-minute matches, it's ruining your stuff, ruining New Japan stuff, and you're trying to say it's great. It's not great. Do you know anybody from New Japan?
No.
Do you know anybody from New Japan? Maybe a few.
A few.
I know a few. I know a few from New Japan. But when, like, the other day when they had that kid, they had on Rampage, they had this kid. He's in the main event, and it's a kid from New Japan. And they just said, this kid's great. Like, that's all I got to go on? Thank you.
Right.
You got a video package or something to look at? No, it's like, this kid's great. This is a dream match. Whose dream? I didn't dream it. Anyway, and not to say that kid isn't great, because I didn't watch the match. Not to say that kid isn't great, just to say you've made it esoteric. You've cut your level of interest in half, because you've got all the people that have a hard on for both, and they're going to love it. But all the people that don't, they're just going to be meh.
Right.
And then you've got all the, like, what I think is the 1.2 million people that are just watching it because it's wrestling, and they're not going to care. So I don't know about you guys, but I would be in a match where they hated me, and that'd be great. I'd be in a match where they loved me, and that'd be great. If I was in a match where they didn't care about me,
horrible.
No reason to keep going. We've
all had that. I mean, we've all had it, but
if I'm in the corner punching a dude, look over and there's a line at the popcorn stand, I might just be like, let's take this home. Let's take it a little while longer to let them get back in the seats for the next guys. But what we've got, they don't want. Right. They're here for something else. Let's give them something else.
What we selling, they ain't buying.
And that happened to me when I was younger and doing stuff because I didn't know how to keep them engaged. Grizzly could not keep them engaged. He could at the beginning, and then when I started winning, it just wasn't fun. And people were like, I don't care about that. That's why I fucking put a little Charles Prewell shirt on and got out there, and I guarantee you they weren't getting up to get popcorn when they wanted to throw whatever they had at me. If they're going to get popcorn, it was to, like, fucking fire brigade took it down so they could throw it at me. How did I get on the soapbox? I just looked down, there was a soapbox. What the hell? I just did it.
Sometimes you just find them and trip on top of them.
It's okay. I trip too much, is what it is. Anybody else? Anything?
Nah.
I hate it when I go on a rant.
I'm hungry. We should probably go.
Yeah, she's hungry.
That guy that told me about our podcast,
yeah,
he said it sounded like he was here with us because we were just talking.
Well, he could be.
Yeah, he will be. Well, I can't even guarantee that. He said he would be, but
we can't make a fifth microphone, but we can figure something out.
He could sit on Hank's lap.
He could sit on Hank's lap.
You bring him.
Stick your hand up his ass, work his mouth.
He's the reason I can't walk hardly. I don't like him.
Cool.
All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Yep.
Well, I guess the weekend's over by the time you see this.
That's true. It'll be Monday.
Have a good week.
All right. Do it. Say it.
Hammer down.
There we go. We're out. See ya.